Hey everybody, what's going on? So glad you guys could join me this evening. Check it out, we're going to talk a little bit about finding your purpose. You know, you guys hear a lot about discussions about when we talk about finding purpose. What exactly is finding purpose and what does it mean? Well, listen up. If you're a veteran, okay, and you did your time in service, no matter how long, usually about 5 years and more, you know, you did about 5, you did 10, you did 15, you know, you start getting to 15, 20, 25 years, man, it gets really, really hard on you. But, however, what we're going to talk about right now is, regardless of the time in service that you've had, the fact is, anytime you've served in the military, okay, especially if you're a combat veteran, and you've done a tour or 2 tours or 3 tours, it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, you had purpose at that time, right? You knew the military was what you wanted to do. You knew you had some sort of purpose, right? You knew this was your plan. You knew this is what you had to do. And it meant something to you. You know, the family knew what you were about. You knew what you were about. That was kind of your purpose. That was your game plan, especially if you knew you were going to deploy. Hey, that was what we were going to do. That's what I was meant to do. That was my life. Let's talk about what happens when you get out of service. Like I was saying, you do 5 years, you do 10 years, whatever. The fact is, when you get out of service, the reason why, not only the reason why we have so many problems, it doesn't just boil down to PTSD. Do we have a lot of people with PTSD from combat? Of course. You know, trauma, it was happening in combat. You had females that were getting sexually assaulted that were dealing with trauma. You know, there's a million reasons why we have PTSD as far as, you know, dealing with trauma. But let's just talk about without the PTSD for a minute. Let's just talk about what happens to a veteran when you take him out of the military service. You know, the fact is, they teach you to put the uniform on, they teach you how to be a soldier, a Marine, a Navy, an Airman, but they don't teach you how to get back into society. And that's where we're having issues at, man. And that's one of the things, and it's called purpose, okay? So when you get out of service and you get back into the civilian life, guess what? You don't have purpose anymore. You don't know what you want to do. You have no idea what you want to do. And if you're an older person and you feel like that your life is you have nothing else to live for, you know, because a lot of things that you went through in the military and a lot of things that you've done, if you are a combat veteran or you've been through some traumatic event, nobody understands it. Nobody can relate with you. So first of all, you have nobody to talk to. You miss the camaraderie. You miss your brothers. You miss your sisters. You miss having that family. You kind of miss taking orders. I mean, not in so much where you don't have somebody just telling you what to do, but they're giving you direction. You know, you always knew every day what you had to do because your sergeants or your officer or whoever was talking to you, whatever your game plan was, you took direction. You knew there was something that had to be done. So they put you back into the civilian world. You've got to deal with all the snowflakes, you got to deal with all the bullshit, and you don't know how to deal with it, you know, and that's one of the things that really starts messing with your head. So what happens? You start drinking, you start taking pills, you start taking drugs, you start, you know, trying to do whatever it is to make you feel better about yourself. And no matter what you do, you just can't feel better. And so it just carries on for years, and the depression kicks in and the anxiety's kicking in, and before you know it, 5-10 years then went by and you done wasted all that time of your life secluding yourself and being antisocial because you just don't know what else to do. And then you get so bad into depression, we start losing veterans, which we're losing 22 a day. So obviously a lot of this plays in together. So here's the deal. You've got to find your purpose, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like, well, Sean, how do I find my purpose? Well, listen, this is what you got to do. All right, what you need to do is find what makes you happy. Okay, that's number one. Find what makes you happy. What do you enjoy doing? And once you find out what you enjoy doing, then just do that. But now here's the trick. Once you find what you're good at, once you find out what you like doing, and if you like helping people, then continue to help people. But if you continue to do what you like to do, here's the trick. You've got to be around people that enjoy the same thing. You got to be around people that enjoy watching you be happy. You know, you can't surround yourself by a bunch of miserable people because then you're going to be miserable. That's just the fact. You're around miserable people, you're going to be miserable. You're around happy people, you'll be happy. You're around successful people, you'll be successful. That's just the way it is, man. If there's 5 people in a room and 4 people sit on the couch every day and watch TV, and you're the 5th person, you're going to end up watching TV all day. That's just how it's going to happen. So you need to get your circle small, and you need to get your circle surrounded in your circle with people that are that want to be successful and people that want to do something. So find people that want to do the same thing you want to do. Get away from those naysayers. Get away from the ones that don't want to help you. Get away from the ones that want to give you encouragement. Get away from the ones that don't care about you, period. You know? So, you know, that's just the way it is, guys. You know, we're losing veterans every day, and it's not just because of PTSD, and it's not just because of depression. I mean, it really boils down to all that in a group. You know, like I talk about in my other videos, PTSD, anxiety, depression, anger, self-esteem issues, lack of purpose, all this could play into one, which could be PTSD. However, if you're somebody that doesn't have PTSD, then what's your issue? Well, your issue is you probably have lack of purpose, lack of fulfillment, lack of wanting to do anything. Right? You don't have purpose anymore, and that's what you need to do. Okay, so that's what I'm that's what I'm trying to tell you right now, and this is the best advice I can give you. Find the thing that you love to do, whatever it is, and then do that. And then surround yourself around people that want to encourage you, and people that want you to be happy, and people that want you to do the same thing that you know that they're doing, is being successful. If they're not being successful, if they're not being encouraging, if they're not doing anything productive, then I'm sorry to tell you, those ain't the people you need to be around. You need to surround yourself around motivating people, successful people, you know, people that want to have something in life, somebody that wants to encourage you to be great. Okay, so remember this: the next time you're sitting in your house or you're sitting somewhere and you're like, man, I don't know what else to do, I don't know what I want to do. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on what makes you happy, and then whatever it is that makes you happy, and then think about the things that you want to do. See about going to do those things. Okay, that's what I had to do. I had to figure out what I wanted to do, had to figure out what made me happy, and then you know what? I didn't let it get nobody or nothing get in my way. A few times I've run into some bumps, but you know what? I've come to realize the people that in my life are very, very important. First of all, we can't be antisocial. We can't do this alone. So second, when you do find the people you want to hang out with or the people that you want to be in your life, they got to be encouraging. They got to be supportive. That's just the way it is. I love all you guys. Thank you for joining me this evening. Check me out on Sean the Veteran Guy on Facebook. Check me out on Sean the Veteran Guy on Instagram. And of course right here on YouTube.